Israel is constantly concerned about its negative reputation in the international media, and many feel that Israel stands alone when it comes to fighting the BDS movement. Yet there are voices who claim just the opposite. Yoram Dori is an Israeli strategic advisor that served closely with the former Israeli President Shimon Peres for many years, and he's here in the studio with more. Thanks for coming in.
Good evening.
So, many Israelis feel that Israel is alone in this world and doesn't really have an international support system. Is that fair to say?
I think no, and I'll explain why. The BDS phenomena is accelerated from Israeli political reasons. The right wing and the left wing want to show want to express the victim phenomena of the Israelis. The other one wants to show how dangerous is the settlement policy of the current government. Both sides are wrong. Israel is not alone. Israel is not isolated. Israel is under no economic threat.
So in your opinion, what does the Israeli government need to be doing to kind of improve Israel's international image? What will it take?
I want to start a little bit to show the situation all over the world. We are always complaining that the whole world is against us. Let's start with China, a very small country. Only 1,350,000,000 people.
Tiny.
Well, very small. You can see in Ben Gurion Airport an air train from China of businessmen who are coming to Israel, trying to buy business, to share business, to develop things together. Then next to China is also a very small country, India, that maybe there are 100 million people less than in China. Also, there are economic cooperation on irrigation, on innovation, on space. Then let's go to United States of America. In United States of America, the worst public opinion poll that I was familiar to showed that 75% of the Americans are supporting Israel and between 10 to 15% are supporting the Palestinians. And the same figures you have in Germany, also a very small country, in Hungary, and other places all around Europe. So please don't be afraid, and I'm asking our politicians, we are strong, we are the strongest country in all the Middle East. I have to use what David Ben-Gurion said about our army, that maybe the IDF is not the best army in the world, but you don't know any army who is better than the IDF. So if you are familiar to this situation, you know that the threat is not a strategic threat, neither a tactic threat. It's more a political threat that people are using it. But the question is how to cope with it. That is a really question. We Israelis always think that we are the center of the world, and we are acting as if we are the center of the world. When you are looking on the international relations, there are international visits in Israel of the world of global leaders. From the first second that they are sitting next to the Israeli president, the Israeli prime minister, the Israeli foreign minister, the Israeli minister of health, etc., the Israeli starts with the Palestinian problem and trying to justify our policy. Please show that we are number one in the world in irrigation. We are number one in the world in innovation. We are number one in the world in medical equipment. We are number one in the world in startups, in high-tech. Why always to speak only about settlement and Palestinian and violence, etc.?
So it's fair to say, that when you're thinking about Israel's allies in the world, you immediately think of the United States. But now with all of this innovation that's coming from the country, we're seeing new allies, right? You're talking about China and India, and that's not it. There are a lot more people, right? So, I want to change topics right now and actually talk about the politics a little bit. You were the spokesman for the former Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, and at the time everyone really
as
thought...
the chairman of the Labour Party, not as Prime Minister, although he was in two posts.
Right, well, at the time that he was working as Prime Minister. And so, everyone really thought that that was a time in Israeli history when we were going to be able to reach peace. Now you see that the Israeli Prime Minister and the Palestinian President are beginning to reinitiate peace talks. Hopefully that's going to happen. Is there an environment right now for peace to be reached? Is it going to happen? Is it possible?
First of all, peace between us and the Palestinians and our neighbors is possible. I am a graduate of the 73 war. I know what everybody said before 73, and we have for the last 40 years peace with Egypt, which is dramatic for the state of Israel. Without the peace that we have in Egypt, maybe there was no budget for welfare, for health, for education, etc., because everything were concentrated on the border with Egypt. And the same I'm saying about the Palestinians. The only reason that 8 million people are living here is because they have a belief that peace is achievable. Yes, we have to try hard. Yes, we need a partner. We have a very problematic partner. But although all the things I described, I am sure that in my time life, and for sure in the time life of my children and grandchildren, they will see peace between us and the Palestinians. It's a necessity for us and for the Palestinians, and that's why I think that we will find the ways and the means how to achieve peace.
Great. Well, it's great to see somebody who is thinking positively about the issue. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have you back again.